Now, there is something here that I've been looking at quite a bit lately, and this is how I find my targets, which I know some of you guys know already. Basically, it's an imbalance, aka a fair value gap. So this would be your fair value gap. Where's my tool? I gotta go to the paintbrush. Here's my gap that I'm looking at. We are in an imbalance right now, but I don't see, like, this gap doesn't really show me a whole lot, even though it is a gap, a fair value gap, but it's not really showing me a whole lot. And it's because I always look left and I don't really see any support or resistance inside this gap. There's just, you have the old resistance was up here outside of the gap. So there's nothing in here for me. Now this one down here does. I like this one. So this one here, I've been paying attention to since we've created it, right? Oh, this one here is nice. And why? Because we can look to the left and we see this old high here that hasn't, and we pushed through it with, we disrespected this old resistance and we created this beautiful imbalance. So what am I going to do? I'm going to mark this out as a very high point of interest for me. This is super high interest, and I always mark those in orange on the day for the daily. So let's just go there, go orange. All right, so that's a daily point of interest. If we start selling off aggressively, this is where I would anticipate price to come to, because this was old resistance. We came up, we got seriously rejected, and then when we came back up, we actually gapped. Like, this is a gap that hasn't been filled. So with that gap, and then we just exploded right through this old resistance, this will hold up as support now. And it's just, so the way I look at these gaps, and to be honest, the way I look at these 2 days, I wouldn't look at it as two gaps. I would look at it as one. I would look at it as one gap, because this is where, and the way I look at these imbalances or gaps, I kind of look at them as a range. All right. So, you know how we look at discount, premium. This would be a range that I would be looking at. So now that we're back inside of the range, we're kind of at the premium. We're at the premium side of the range. And the reason why I look at them as a range is because this is where all of the buying started. This is where there was a bunch of people that agreed that we wanted upside. So there's a lot of people that got into the market right here. Okay. So this would be the bottom of the range, aka fair value gap, imbalance. So, and the reason why, we call them imbalances is because there's a lot of people that bought in right here. So if people are still holding positions, there's more buyers than sellers. So with that being said, there's an imbalance. We need to make the market should be balanced. If there's more buyers than sellers and there's not enough sellers, there's no more, it's imbalance. So we have to come back and revisit this area to balance out the market, right? And then, so even if we do, let's say, flush right through this, it really, there's always going to be a reaction right here. Like, even if we do want downside, the chances are we're going to come down, bounce off of it, and then continue. Like, that's usually like 90% of the time, I would say, you're going to have a bounce right here. So you can either play, once you have conviction, like if we come up, hit another gap, and then continue down, like that would be it telling me, okay, we want to come down here, right? It's not just going to come straight down. It's going to, maybe we'll come down one more day. We're going to make another gap here. Maybe we'll come back up, touch that gap, and then continue down, right? That would be like your kind of failed H, right? Like we come up, and then now we start Hing up, but there's no progress to the upside. So we make a lower high, and then we continue down. So right now there's no confirmation which way we're heading right now, other than, you know, we do have a pullback right now. So technically, I would say maybe today we should be bullish. If we like, let's say I agree that this is a high right here. Let's just say this is a high for now, for the foreseeable future. And we're going to continue the sell side of the curve now. We still need to come back because the market never just goes in one direction like it did here. Like this is pretty aggressive. But so now we're consolidating. This could be manipulation to head higher, or we could curl around, make a failed H, and then continue lower. So right now we're in the there's no there's no direction right now. We're just still in this consolidation phase. So as of right now, I have no bias. And we also have the same thing on ES. So we actually hit that point. So let's see see, that's the same day. See how my crosshairs line up? So this is the exact same day. This high and this high, they're the same. So I'm just going to mark that out as orange, and we're at it right now, which is kind of fun, right? And look at, we're wicking it. So we're already getting the reaction on ES, which is kind of fun to see, right, in real time. And this is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do this today, like as soon as possible, is because I kind of seen this setting up. So with that being said, and then on the flip side, we also have, so just because we have one at the bottom, the chances are there might be one at the top too, right? On both sides, which kind of makes things a little more difficult. But these are just things. This is just what I mark out. I see this imbalance, and we have a gap down here that hasn't been filled. So that gives me more confidence that we may come down and want to fill this gap, because the market doesn't like gaps. I don't know why, they just really don't like gaps or imbalances, right? So you can kind of look at these gaps as being an imbalance. So we're in an imbalance. We're hitting an old resistance, which should be, or there's no should be. It will hold up as new support. So it will struggle here. On ES, it's gonna struggle here. So I just want you guys to mark these out in some color that you're not gonna forget as a daily, because when you get around these areas, price will slow down and it will struggle to continue. And so if you're playing shorts, if you're in a short position down here, you want to keep that in mind, right? You want to take profit at this 538. You want to take profit at these 852s, or sorry, 837 is the orange line. And same with the upside. I seen this one here, and it's a little, so you have this gap here, this gap, this imbalance, right? And then when you look to the left of it, there's not a whole lot of support beside it, but there is at the same time, because so you can't do this candle here. Here, let's just get rid of this shaded area. We can't, so we know this is the gap from here to here. So you can't, so this candle, this doji candle, you can't really count that. This one, it's kind of like in it, but it's not. So this is what price did, right? We came down, and then we opened up way down here. We rocketed up, and then we came back down. All right. Well, and then we did the same thing here. So realistically, because we sold off so heavy this day, and then we came up so quick this day, this would be your resistance, the top of this candle. So the top of this candle would be your resistance, because the next day there is no continuation. We got slammed back down. All right. So this green candle that failed to go higher would be your old resistance, now new support. So I would, once we do get back up into this gap, and I really like, you guys know, I know Tammy for sure. You guys know I like numbers, right? These numbers that just kind of stick out, and that 22101, like it's almost 100. We could make it 100 really. If you zoom in close enough, it probably is 100. Yeah, see, look at that. It is 100. That's a really nice number. I like that number a lot. So I have that in my charts, and so when we get up there, it's definitely going to slow down, and it's definitely going to bounce off of that, right? Unless, like, I shouldn't say definitely, there's always the off chance that it doesn't, but I mean, I'm telling you guys, 9 times out of 10 it will. Let's go down to we did the weekly. There's really nothing on the weekly. There is those on the daily, so we'll do the same thing on ES. Actually, ES doesn't, yeah, so it doesn't. ES has this gap here on the daily as well, but again, like, it comes up, gets slammed down. There's just no high beside it, you know. This one's not as clean because when we got slammed down, then it rejected it. So honestly, the one on ES, so when there is like this consolidation, like there's no obvious high or low to the left of these imbalances, what I typically do, especially for the daily, I just mark out the bottom of it, because chances are, if we're aggressively in a buy model here and we just touch that gap, sometimes it'll get rejected. So you can always keep that in the back of your mind if you're in a buy and you're wondering where I should be taking profit. Those big daily imbalances, they're a magnet, and then a lot of the times they get smacked down, right? Let's go down to the 4-hour. This is how I do everything. It's always weekly, not so often. Daily, I do look at the daily every day when I'm at home in the lab. It's on my one screen all the time, looking forward, looking to see if it goes red to green or green to red. So with that in mind, the same thing with the 4-hour. We actually have this beautiful, 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 huge imbalance. And like I said before, I don't look at these two. There's an imbalance here, right? And then there's an imbalance here. I don't look at them as two imbalances. I look at them more as just one big imbalance. All right. And again, why do I have that thought process? We opened up here and everybody agreed. Literally, every single buyer and seller in the market decided today was the day that we're going to buy. So what did that create? That created a range. This is the discount of the range. This is the premium of the range. More importantly, where is the support or resistance in that range? That is what I really want to know. And here, it is so obvious. It's like screaming at me. There is no way anybody can miss this. And you have to mark these out. You just have to. Look at right here. It's basically a double high, right? Like, this will be a huge old resistance. Now it's going to hold up as a floor. All right. And we already came down and we got close to it, right? We came within 40 points of it, which, I mean, it's pretty far away. So if we do get down here, this will hold up. for a long time, or for some period of time, it will hold up there. All right, the chances of that just flushing through that is very, very slim. All right, same as on ES. Let's go take this to the 4-hour. I'm sure there's a faster way of doing this, but I suck with computers. Same thing on the 4-hour. We actually did it already. We've already. So ES is a little fast, like it's ahead of NQ right now, which is not weird, but is weird at the same time. But you can already see that it happened here. So like I'm not just making things up, right? Here's your massive imbalance. We came down. Look at that reaction. Like you can't deny that. Like look at you for the next 4 hours. We were in a buy program after this got hit. Like if you can't tell me like that is not a powerful level there with that, like this imbalance and then old resistance turning into support. Like look at, you can't deny it. How would I play that? I would play it simply as like, that's the problem with like the 4-hour is you almost got to play it on the 4-hour, which is actually not that hard, because as soon as we wick down and we hold it, literally this candle would always be red, but as soon as this new candle opened up and it turned green, that's when you start buying. All right, and then your stop loss would be pretty far away because we're on such a large time frame. But you could just have the old resistance, new support as your stop loss, maybe like a 5 minute, do it on like a 5 minute stop loss. So if you close on the 5 minute below that, that would be kind of your stop loss, right? You always got to think of that. But it's just undeniable. Like you just can't even argue with how powerful that is. And even here, right? Even this candle came down, bounced off it. Okay. And what was this? This was the daily. This was the first daily. Look at, we're bouncing off of it right now, right? So we're a lot further ahead on ES, which kind of tells me maybe like if we get back above this 4-hour imbalance target, when this flips green and pushes above that, like if we get that at open, which would be pretty crazy, I would say we want upside, because we're actually having an H right now. We're actually in a failed H program right now. We came down, we came, and then we came up, retested this 4-hour target, right? It got rejected. We're staying underneath it. We should have continued lower. This should be a massive sell-off candle, and it's not. We came down to the daily imbalance target. We're holding that right now, and now we're aggressively in a buy program. So this is telling me right now in this current moment that we're headed up. All right. So do I have a bias right now? I kind of do, right? I kind of do. But there's also other things to look at. With this big sell-off yesterday, we have a new 4-hour target on the upside. So let's mark that out. And it's almost the exact same as what we've seen over here, right? See that double high? Now we have a double low with the imbalance, the 4-hour imbalance. Like that just screams out at you, right? So if we do get up here, there's going to be a reaction. It's undeniable. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get, I'm not saying a huge move, but you're going to get a move. Like over here, this one, that was a huge move. Look at this. Like, that's a crazy move, especially on ES, right?
Trent, quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you drop like buy orders or sell orders in these positions?
And in what aspect are you mean like right
You
now?
just mentioned that these would be strong levels, so if we would be not so much in hindsight that
So
place that, okay, we would assume that it would come here, so you'd put like a sell order there.
So you can kind of play them like Savvy's levels, right? You can play it on the 2 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. I typically like the 15 minute. All right. So if I'm playing one of these levels, what I want to see, let's go down to the 15 minute on ES. This is how I would exactly play it. All right. This is how I would play ES. I know this is a daily imbalanced target. We hit it, okay? We closed below it on the 15, but I'm expecting for it to hold. So as soon as we close back above it on the 15 minute, I would be in a buy. So technically right now, and then the bottom of this 15 minute would be my stop loss. So it kind of sucks playing bigger time frames, but as you guys can see, there's no rush. Like when you're playing big time frame targets, there's no rush to get in or out of the move, because look at, we've already been in it for a solid 15 minutes. Like look at this candle that we're getting off the 15 minute. Like that's a massive move, right? Like I almost want to participate in this, but it's just pre-market, right? But this, and then look at, so what did I say on the 4 hour? On this 4 hour right here, what did I say? As soon as this 4 hour goes green, I would be interested in buys. Like right now, I'm very interested in buys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to, just because I'm in this lesson and it's pre-market, so it's kind of against all my rules. But we are in a buy program now. Like we are. It's almost undeniable. Now, am I too late on ES? I don't think, or on NQ, I don't think so. On ES, they're actually kind of in the same spot, but it's just, you got to go small, because your stop loss would be so far away. Like my stop loss would be here on ES. Old support, new resistance, right? You guys hear me say that time in and time out. This was old support, now it's new resistance. So that would be my stop loss with a minimum 5 minute candle closure below it. That would be my stop loss. All right. So we did the daily, or we did the weekly, we did the daily, we did the 4 hour. Now my favorite is the 15. We're already on the 15 on ES. Let's go NQ 15. All right. Now we're on, what time are we? 9 o'clock. Let's try to sum this up. So what do I see on, well, we already did it on NQ, right? Old support. So now I'll mark this out. And when you mark out these old support, new resistance, or old resistance, new support, you gotta go, I'm gonna do this yellow, because I do all of my 15 minutes on yellow. It's good to have a color system. I really recommend, like, so all of my Brad levels are white, all of my 4 hour and dailies are orange, and then my smallest time frame that I do these on are yellow, just for anybody to know. So this is really nice, because it's an inverse fair value gap with an old like, so we blasted right through that, which is kind of showing really a lot of, like, we should have had a reaction here. Let's go down to the 1 minute and see if there was any type of reactions there. No, there really wasn't. That's crazy. But we did come back and retest. Like that would have been that would have been your buy right there. We pushed through that with no reaction, and we come back and retest it. Wow. That would have been a zero drawdown buy. Zero drawdown. Like that would have been an insane position to get into. And it just shows you guys how powerful like a level system is, right? Like these levels, like Brad's levels, you can create your own levels doing this. Like it's just so freaking powerful. It really is. Let's go back to the 15 minute. So I just want to make sure that you guys can do this on your own. I want I want you guys to look at these imbalances the way I look at them, get a target, see if there is a support and resistance inside those imbalances, and I want you to mark them out, because there's usually always some sort of reaction. Like there, we pushed through it, but we came back and retested it. Like just for that alone is worth putting on your screen, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Please, somebody tell me I'm wrong. I don't think one person in here is going to tell me I'm wrong. Same with this one. So we have an inverse Sega. I was going to say, Sega, don't do it. I seen you typing, bro. That's funny. Let's so this one here, there's really nothing, right, guys? There's no support or resistance because we just came down and straight back up. So there's nothing beside it. Like we're looking at this imbalance, even though it's not an imbalance yet, because we could just come back. But we're gonna just, for this lesson's purpose, we're just looking at this as our new imbalance, right? So there's nothing beside it. So all I would do is I would just mark out the top. I typically always mark out my 15-minute imbalances, fair value gaps, whether it be the very top of it or if there is some sort of support or resistance inside of it. So this was old support, but because we kind of already violated it a couple times, I don't consider it as support or resistance anymore. Our new support is all the way down here, which is so far away. So with that being said, is there a chance that we're going to come back into this gap? I think so. There's always a very high, like these imbalances are magnets. Once we create these imbalances, so we're creating a range now, right? So this is our new range. We just agreed that from here to here is a range. Everybody in the market's agreeing right now, which is nice. This is when the market has really nice price action. Like today, with seeing all of this, I would be risk on today. Like I would be a risk on type of day with today, because we've made a gap coming down. We found our support. Everybody agreed that this is support. Let's just put a yellow line there. Everybody agreed that that yellow line is support. All of the buying pressure came up. Everybody's agreeing. Like when everybody has the same idea, that's when a lot of people can make money. When you lose money in the market, it's the only reason why you're losing money is because there wasn't enough people in the market that have the same idea. You just have to have the same idea as everybody else. Once everybody has the same idea and can agree, this is what you get. Very clean, smooth price action. So I could see today being a banger day, to be honest. So we've done, let's get rid of this, make it clean. This one I like on ES. If we come back down to this 5.851, I would look to either take profit or perhaps get into a buy position. If we absolutely destroy it and head back to the downside, then you can have a bias towards this back down to this daily target, or we're going to come down and touch this daily target on NQ. Does that make sense? How you can kind of use these imbalances with the old support, new resistance, old resistance, new support. You can kind of form your own bias, entry models, targets. Does that kind of make sense to you guys? When we look at the 15-minute, awesome. When we look at the 15-minute on NQ, we do have a couple nice ones up here that haven't. And if the gap or range or fair value gap, whichever you want to call it, I just call them gaps because it's easy to, it just rolls off the tongue. When I look at these gaps and it hasn't been touched yet, it's huge for me. I will definitely at minimum mark out the bottom of it because we're below it. Okay? At the very least, I will do that in yellow because that's my 15-minute color. If there is some support or resistance in it to the left, I will also mark that out. In this scenario, we do not have any because we just went straight up. We do have this one here, but it's old. It's an old, I wouldn't really look at it. So I would typically just mark out the bottom of it. I would be very careful in buying anything inside this massive range, right? So with that being said, and then let's add in Savvy's levels. So, cause this is what I do every single day, guys. I do this literally every single day. How do I get out of here? Let's go to NQ. Let's pull up the Discord. What do we have close to us right now? I don't put on all the levels. Like, you guys should. It's just they change every day, so it's a lot of work putting all of them on. I typically just put the ones on that I'm close to. So we're close to 240. Let's put that on. 240. Right there. Turn it to white. All right, so there's Brad's level, right? What was it? 240.50. Close enough. So with that being said, how do I personally use Brad's levels? This is how. I have a bias. Okay? Why do I have a bias? We came down into a daily imbalance with a target and we're holding it. All right? We have a was that a fifth? That's a 15-minute. Yeah, so we had, when we came down, we created a 15-minute gap with a target. We have disrespected it. And not only did we disrespected it, we've totally filled it to the upside. And so everything showing me downside has been disrespected. Let's see what we have on ES for levels. ES is way more clean right now. 860. So we have 851. Let's put 851 on here. Look at that. Oh my god, it's already there. Wow, guys, come on. Am I Brad now? Look at this. We have Brad's level. We have old support. New resistance. It got violated. We pushed right through it. So how would I personally trade Brad's level? Because I have a bullish bias, I would be looking at buys either when we come back into this level, because this is an imbalance that, look at, we're hunting it right now, right? So if we come and hold this imbalance, stay above the level, because that's Brad's level, and well, even though this old support, new resistance, it doesn't really hold up anymore because it's, once you've kind of screwed with it more than once, it kind of erases itself. So I just look to the left of this action here, and there's nothing. There's no, it's just an inverse gap now. But we have Brad's level, so that's always nice. So I'll be playing buys off of this, or I'll be playing buys through this. So that's how I play Brad's levels. It is literally that easy. We do not, oh, sorry guys. We do not want to overcomplicate anything in the market. The more simple you can make it, I love these levels, and I'm not saying that just to pump Brad up. I'm saying it because it's true. Like literally, this is the truest, easiest way to trade that you will ever find. Find your imbalances, look for the support or resistance inside, mark them out. If there's nothing, just mark out the imbalance by itself, and it's literally that easy. And also, I forgot to do one thing, which for me is almost more important than all of that, which I will show you guys right now. Let's go to the 4 hour. No, let's go to the 1 hour. We actually kind of. Let's go to the 4 hour. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is what I was looking at yesterday. Let's get rid of that little box. Look at how nice this thing is. Again, something that you can't make up is this shit. Literally. How can you make this stuff up? All right. We have a beautiful 3-point touch. All right. 3 points. That's all you need. You need 3 points to have to confirm the trend. 2 points, yes. 3 points, absolutely. All right. So, what are we going to do? Are we just going to keep consolidating until we get to this trend? It's totally possible. All right. But we did come down. We tried to H down. We're getting rejected. Let's get above these levels. Look for buys, right? That's my game plan for today. It's literally that simple. Wait for this retest on Savvy's level of 5851 or the break of 2128 or sorry 21-240. It's literally that easy, guys. So I hope that did all of you well. Brad is on now, so I'm gonna hand it over to the king.
Awesome, that 21-240. I have my eye on that and that level. That's awesome, dude.
Yep, love it, man.
Oh,